All right, everybody. I totally realized I probably didn't need to end that last video, but I had already committed to ending it. So I just went along and ended it. And now we're back here and we're starting back up. And what we're going to be doing once again is going into these listings. Okay. So obviously you've been following along. So you know all these listings right here that I have up top have been confirmed. They are in order from right to left, from highest to lowest. So we know what the average annual revenue is for each one of them as we're going to be going through. And what we're going to be trying to figure out here is uh, the attributes of them that are allowing them to be so profitable. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat that this very first listing that's making 150,000, I don't even want to look at it because I'm still not a believer in it. If I'm being honest, I'm still not a believer in it. And even if it is, it seems like a one-off property that maybe it's just in a special building or whatever it may be. But I just don't think that it's gonna. You'll easily be able to find another listing that's just as nice as this. Now, I want to let you guys know that I have not gone through all of these listings and figured everything out before this video. And the reason I haven't done that is because I want you to hear what I am saying as I'm going through this. And I am speaking all of my thoughts out loud. And I'm trying to give you as much information as I possibly can. And I want you to be taking notes as you're going through, okay? Because this is a very organic and natural thing that you have to go through for yourself when you're going through this. And I want you to see what the process is, even for me at this stage going through it. So this very first one. So what we're doing is we're opening up the listing, and we're looking at the photos, and we're trying to take a look at the actual listing to see what it might be doing. And I can see it's just an absolutely beautiful place, right? Like even this window is so cool how it cuts over in this corner here. The top adds for a really nice feature. One thing you'll know is that you got to know about Austin is that it brings in a lot of like creative people. It's a very fun place. So you need a very fun place in Austin. And I only know this because of reviewing all these Airbnbs and kind of like hearing about the vibe down in Austin. And it's weird they just said vibe, but like that really what it is what it is. I can see that they utilize the bedrooms very well. That's something that I pointed out earlier. They have done just a phenomenal job on these photos. The way that they put together the rooms, really maximizing the amount of people that they're getting in there. They changed up with the way this room looks in comparison to the other ones, which is really smart, so people can feel like there's differences in all the rooms. At the same time, it's kind of still plain, like they kept it very simple, which is the theme that they're going for with this. But it's just a really nice place, right? Like I think it's just as simple as that. We obviously have an outdoor deck patio, but it's not anything crazy. There's not some crazy views coming out of there, and that's it. So I feel like this listing is a really nice listing, but I feel like it's doing double the amount of everybody else? I just don't feel that. I don't feel that at all, and it's like I just want to avoid it for now, okay? Because what we want to know is we want to know these different groupings. So with data, we're looking for trends, okay? And I like to group them in a $10,000 range because that makes me think maybe I can do right in the middle, right? And if I can do for this one, it'd be about $70,000 a year. So it's like, okay, be right in the middle there. Would that be enough? Would I feel comfortable with that? Let's figure that out, right? And so this is my grouping that I'm going to try and figure out what they're doing well, right? With this one being on its own, I don't know if it's just a one-off property, and I don't know if it could be repeated again. Is essentially what I'm getting at. So let's just focus in on these properties here, right? Now, once again, we're looking at the photos. We're trying to understand it. Great first photo, nice little home, very Austin feel to it. Kitchen is nice. It's a newer kitchen, not a great photo of the kitchen. Maybe they're just putting their top photos up the front. Yep. So now we're getting another look at the kitchen itself. Um, this isn't like there's nothing spectacular about this home. It's clean. It's decently, well put together. Obviously, when we look at that last one, it was super nice. So it's like it's hard to go from that one and then into this one. But in all reality, like this is still a well put together home. Look, they have an extra seating section here, which is smart for them to do. Yeah, just like all around pretty decent. They have a nice backyard. They put together well. There's nice little lights up here, and a nice little outdoor seating area. That's very smart of them to do. They have a bunch of little photos, outdoor front area where they can sit. They're kind of now they're so this is a kind of a cool little thing that they're doing. They have all of the main photos put up in here in order, and then they get into all these like little photos which show off the cool little features of the home and things that people care about, right? Like a desk and the espresso machine and wine fridge and all those kind of things. So that's actually a very clever way of putting this together. So that's pretty good marketing on their end. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. So, okay, so they have a good kitchen. They have high ceilings. They have a nice back door area. They have all the little mini features. They host up to 8 people, even though it's a 3 bedroom. So we saw that extra bed in the one room. That's why. So I'm seeing like, okay, good photos, good kitchen and bathroom, good amount of area, good outdoor area. Like they're doing all the things right. Okay. And I like these kind of hosts because that's how I host. I do things right. Right. And so I feel confident that I can do as well as they're doing because I know how to put things together. I know how to market. I know how to host it. Now, this is going to be our next one here. And our next one is doing 72,000. So slightly less, but still within the exact same range. Now, this is a Airbnb Plus. An Airbnb Plus just simply means that they have a good quality home, and the Airbnb has reached out to them and asked them to be a part of the Airbnb Plus club. They met this 100-point checklist. Anyways, which helps kind of with bookings as well. If you have an Airbnb Plus, people will pay a little more for that. I actually owned this at one point. I feel like I don't need to tell you that, but you can see that this couch right here is not a great couch. It's honestly, I'm pretty surprised right off the bat. This is not a very nice looking listing, and this is an overexposed door, which is not nice either. And the couch isn't very nice at all, but it definitely falls, lays back down into a bed, right? So they can get more people to sleep on that. A lot of photos for the living room, like quite a bit more than they probably need. Kitchen is decent, not great, but decent. It's kind of got a nice island in there. Good photos though of everything, which is well put together. That's a nice little setup they got there. So obviously they're hosting well. I like that the bedrooms look nice, nice little seating area. Everything looks just like pretty good, right? It's like put together pretty well. I think they did a better job with the bedrooms than anything else. But this isn't like a luxury bathroom in any case. It's a kind of a little bit old, but not very old bathroom. But it's still pulling it off. They're just lucky that white is technically in right now. Good sized dining room. Let's see. Do they have any outdoor area? Yeah, they got a little outdoor area, but they're not really showing it off very well either. Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's very cool. Nice. Look at that back there area too. Okay, so they redeemed themselves back here. So once again, the first one that we just looked at had a backdoor area, decent kitchen, good bathrooms. It had, I believe it had the porch with the front area. I think it had a better living room, but it wasn't like spectacular. But these two listings are very, very similar in that case, right? They have the washer and dryer. They have the exact same features. And so it's understandable that they would both be doing around that exact same amount of 72 to 75, so like in that same range, right? So I'm not surprised whatsoever that these homes are doing the exact same thing. This all makes sense to me, right? So if I were to open up a home and I were to design it fairly well, like these guys have done, and I were to allow between 7 to 8 guests, I believe that I could do around $72,000 because that's, or within that range. So that's what we're trying to figure out here. It's like, okay, these are the features that I need. I need a decent kitchen. I need a back door area. I need a front door area. I need all these things. And if I can do all of that, then I can make around $70,000 to $75,000. That's good. I like this. So far, this has actually been pretty easy. There's nothing that's been kind of standing out that's hard to figure out why they're doing well. Now we're going into this next one. I'm just going to take a look. We have 10 guests, 7 beds. That's kind of interesting. I feel like, how much is this guy making? I feel like he should be making more. He's making 67, so he's very, very close. But I can tell you right now, his marketing isn't great. It's a good looking home, but for some reason he felt that he needed 4 photos of the outdoor of the home before he even get into it. People don't care about your home that much, so his marketing skills are not very good. But he's got a really nice home. We can see it's designed fairly well, but there's really bad photos. Okay, so obviously this home is nicer than the last one, but it's not making as much because he didn't know how to take. He didn't get a proper photo shoot done, right? So people are acknowledging that this home is nice and it's worth quite a bit to them, right? Obviously, better bathroom. Imagine if this home had the exact same amount of type of photos as the last home. Oh, look at all the beds, because they can host more people. They have more of an Austin feel with everything that they're doing. They have the backdoor area set up nice. They even have a bigger backdoor area and a nice little seating area that they didn't even take a photo of. Look at you can see this is I get emotional when I look at this stuff. I swear to God, all the time. I get like it rattles me that some people have such a great product and they just don't take a good photo shoot of it. And so people don't know what they're getting. This is what I've said this so many times to people. This is the type of home that I would look for. I look for a home that has bad photos, but I can see that it's a really nice home because they always price it lower than it actually should be because they just don't realize that they can ask more money if they had just gotten a better photo shoot and marketed better. So this is a great example of a good product doing worse than it should. So this product should be doing, I would say it should be doing better than this home, to be honest, if they had a proper photo shoot. The only thing that's really sticking out here is that it's a little bit smaller It feels smaller, like the living room is smaller and stuff like that, but it's got such a very like such an Austin feel to it that it should technically be doing better. So anyways, makes sense why it's doing worse. That's what we're trying to look for, right? We want to see these nice trends. Okay, this one's making less than that one. Right. It's a good product, but it's got bad photos. That makes logical sense to me. So now I'm going to move on to the next one, which is 63. We have this one, and then we have this guy here. So this guy's doing 63, and he can host 16 guests. So that's incredible to me that he's got 16 people coming into this 3-bedroom, and he has a pool, and he's only doing 63,000. So we're gonna figure out why just by looking through all these photos. He should be doing better than all of them. Just so you guys know, right? That's a great couch. Obviously the photos aren't great. It you can tell the furniture is cheaper. It's not like terribly set up or anything like that, but it's cheaper. You can tell it's cheaper. You can tell it's in an old home. Oh, look at the backyard. It's got really nice picnic tables. Terrible photos of the bathroom. Look at this bedroom is ridiculous that they have that many bunk beds in there, but it is what it is. And that's it. Those are all the photos that they have. Okay, so here you go. That's why, right? This person is just losing out on thousands of dollars. They're making 63. They're losing out on $10,000 minimum. Minimum $10,000. If this person were to know how to take a proper photo shoot or hire somebody to do a proper photo shoot, maybe put some higher quality furniture and better design into this home with a pool in such a nice backyard, like I can't even. Where's the kitchen? I now kind of feel like this isn't even a real listing for it to be making that amount. So now I just want to double check all the. We have the reviews. I'm not. There's no kitchen, and there's a one photo of a bathroom. The calendar looks good. How are people renting out this home without knowing that? That's so odd to me, right? And the listing title is super boring. I'm not seeing anything from this. So think about this, guys. When you're going through this, okay, you're not going to do this. Please, God, don't do this. When you're going to put together a listing, it is going to look like this. You're going to have proper photos. You're going to have a good design of everything. You're going to list to a good amount of people. Like you're going to set it up so a good amount of people can actually stay there and that everyone fits and all come together. You're not going to do what this guy is going to do. So you should know in your head that if you just perform in the way that these guys have, where you put together nicely and you take photos of the kitchen and every room that exists inside the house, you will be able to make around $75,000 comfortably, right? These people here, this guy and also this guy, both have better products but are making less money. Okay, better listings. I call everything list Airbnb listings products now. And but they have it's just so stupid. Okay, so stupid. They could have spent $300 on a photo shoot. They'd be making a ton more money. Let's keep going. Once again, here's another prime example of this. So at this point, we are now going into the lower half. Okay, the lower half. I'm feeling confident that both these listings could be making more than this amount. So I know already that I'm still feeling like I can make this $75,000 pretty easily because I know how to make these products down here look as good as this one up here. Okay. Now I want to figure out what are these guys doing that is doing poorly. Now I'm not going to go through every single one of them because that's just going to be make for way too long of a video. I'm just going to keep going through them as I have been and trying to figure out what they are doing wrong and trying to make sense of it, right? So once again, super Austin feel in this home, but bad photos again, which is very intriguing to me. I don't know why people keep doing this. So bad photos, but looks really nice. Like you can barely even tell if this is like, what is this photo taking of? Are they taking a photo of the lights exactly? It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but they've got awesome seating everywhere, but they just haven't put together well. So once again, this is a prime example of a listing that should just be making this one $10,000-$15,000 more, and they're not. This is once again a listing that I would look for to stay in, but is what it is. I wonder, they even have a nice back door area. This may have to do with some location as well, because this home is way too nice in comparison to those other ones to be making the revenue that it's making. Like obviously the photos, yes, the photos are bad, but even then it should be able to be pulling in a little bit more. You can see the nightly rate is significantly less. They have a pretty decent title in here. Like they're booked out. This person's occupancy is probably through the roof because it is such a nice place, but their average daily rate is probably really low. So let's take a look at that. No, occupancy is only at 67. Is that right? Yeah, occupancy is at 67. Their average daily rate is 236 in comparison to 403, 388. These guys have a lower average daily rate. It's kind of close to this, so they must have a higher occupancy. So maybe this has to do with their location, right? So yeah, you can see the occupancy right there. Maybe this has to do. So sorry, what I'm getting into here, guys. Let me explain myself. Is this home should be doing better. Now I'm kind of like concerned. Why isn't it doing as well? Because it is just so well designed. Like this person. I mean, there's a lot going on with it, but it's a very very Austin feel, right? And yes, the photos are bad, but there's still so much to this home that it probably should be making more money than it is, right? Even the occupancy should be technically higher. But maybe they're, we can see that their daily rate is low, but so are the ones that were doing the best. They're kind of a little bit lower as well, right? So it's like, well, mind you, what we're looking at there doesn't show it, but in the actual data, it does show it. This is ADR, stands for average daily rate, which is over here, but they have a higher occupancy. So now I want to know, like, maybe these guys are in a better location. Maybe they're closer to downtown, and that's why that's happening, right? So we can see this is downtown, right where the name is. So now I need to see this to confirm that what I'm seeing is true. Like, is this person just further away? Is there something? Yeah, look at that. Look how far away they are in comparison. So Austin's right here. They're way over here, which is the end of this neighborhood, right? And these guys are right in the heart of this neighborhood. Now, I do have a little bit up of an advantage here because I know this neighborhood. This is actually, I've been to Austin once and we stayed right in this neighborhood. And you could walk to down, you could take a scooter downtown, you kind of walk to, there's like restaurants and things around here. So this is going to be like a generally kind of a better area to be in rather than way over here. So that's why this home is doing less. This home over here is doing less, is because they are way further away from like the core of the neighborhood than the other guys are. So do you see, like, I needed to make sense of that. I was like, this is not adding up. This listing should be doing better. What is the reason? So now we know, right? Now we know one of the attributes of homes that do less are ones that are way over here, right? I'm assuming this neighborhood is like this, right? And so if the home is on the way far edge of this actual neighborhood, it's not going to perform as well, even if you have just as good of a product. Okay. So you want to be a little bit more focused over here because that higher revenue is happening over here. So now I know that. I feel good about that. And I'm like, nice, another piece of information that I now can take with me when I'm actually going to look at homes. I don't want to be over here. I want to be over here. Boom. Another little piece that makes me feel good about that. So let's now move into the next listing. Let's just touch on like a couple more, right? So we got this one's doing 50,000 and it's this one. Obviously we can tell once again right off the bat the photos don't look as good, but it's not terrible. It's Airbnb Plus again. So you know what, I think you learn more from the bad listings than the good ones as to like what these ones are doing wrong and what to avoid. So I can tell you right now, like, this is a really dark photo. I don't know why it's so dark, but it's a pretty decent design. Like, or it's not a terrible design, but it is small. So that's what it is. It's small. And I've had a small room like this before that just destroyed my revenue one time, right? So this, look at there's that's the dining table that seats two people. And when you're in the kitchen, you're basically in the living room and there is no dining room. And how many people can stay at this place at once? Let's take a look at that real quick because that matters, right? So 7 people. Imagine if you are a guest and or sorry, yeah, imagine you're like with 7 people. So it's you and your 6 best friends, and you're thinking, I want to stay at a place in Austin. Would you ever look at this place and say, all 7 of us would fit really nicely and comfortable in this place and it's worth every single penny? Never, right? Like, you wouldn't even be able to sit around a table and eat breakfast together. Like, when I go with my friends and we all rent out an Airbnb together. We always have breakfast together. We always play cards around the table. And those are the things that we do around the dining table. And when you're with a larger group, you want to be able to do those things. And this home is just tiny. It is just too small to be able to do that. So I guarantee that that's the reason that the revenue is being hurt so bad with this home, because nobody wants to book this because you have to think about it. Like, I'm looking at this home and I'm also looking at these homes and I'm going, which one do I want? Do I want this one with a pool, nice dining table, all this area out in the backyard? Or do I want this one where, an island barely even fits in it, a tiny little island, right? So those are the things that people are thinking about when they're deciding to book it. And people are probably booking this one simply to save money. And that's why they have to put it at such a lower price, because no one's going to book this one at the same price as these ones that we've been looking at over here. All right. So I hope that makes sense. So now I know, okay, another thing in my head, I can't have it too small. If it's too small, I have to price it lower than everybody else because they have bigger homes than me. And if I have a 3 bedroom home where I'm hosting larger groups, then I need to have a bigger home, right? It is like, this is a great listing. It looks really good, but it's just small. Simple as that. I guarantee you, I know that for a fact because I've gone through it myself. I bought it. I've rented out. I rented out a small home and lost like $20,000 on it, probably even more to be honest, because it cost like $70,000 in liabilities throughout the entire year, plus like $20,000 worth of furniture. And the room was just the like area was just too small. Nobody liked it, and it was really hard to rent out. And so I had to lower the price significantly, and it wasn't able to cover all the bills. And we had to get through the entire year on the lease before we could get out of it, and then the furniture transferring it to another unit just wasn't as clean and easy as you'd want it to be. So it lost me a lot of money. And I know because it was just simply too small. Okay. So I want you to keep that in mind. Now, moving on to the next one. This is another one that's $50,000 a year. I remember when I first looked at this, I was like, this is not a really good looking listing, right? Instantly, like, why does it not look so good? Really bad, like really cheap furniture. Obviously, there's no real interior designer here. Look at this again, guys. There is a small dining table. Kitchen is basically in the living room. Back to back locations making exactly $50,000. Oh no, making exactly $50,000, and they both have these tiny little rooms. So if you want to make $50,000, get a unit that is small, that's a 3 bedroom with no dining room, and you can make $50,000. That's the reality of it. Even these photos are terrible. There's like 8 photos of the living room, 4 photos of, how many photos of the stairs are we looking at here? So you got 1 photo of the stairs, 2, that's the exact same one. Here's another one in case you're wondering what the stairs look like. We've got a bunch of those. Back now we're into the bedrooms. I don't need to keep going through this. You guys get the idea. It's just not a really well put together listing. Moving to the next one. We've already disqualified this one, and I don't believe I actually checked it off as red. Oh wait, no, we confirmed that this most likely was real data, but it's even though it only has 10 reviews, but it's probably making less because of turnkey. Now I can only say that about turnkey because I have looked at so many of their listings, and over and over again, they seem to be making not a lot of money in comparison to the competition. So if you're thinking about using turnkey as your management company, Vacasa actually bought Turnkey recently, and for whatever reason, the revenue is always lower. So just keep that in mind. I might have to do with the photos. This seems like a pretty good home, but I don't know what the reason is. It's just very consistent for that case. So we're just going to call that a turnkey issue. Okay. Now the last one we're going to go through, because I'm not going to go through any more of this, is a $48,000 home. So this is very close to our $50,000 homes. I can already see that there's no dining room. I'm almost positive. There's the kitchen is right there, and those are the seats that you're going to get. Big kitchen, not very nice. It's not new, right? It's not bad though either. Oh, we do have a dining table. It's a really big dining table too. Uh, Interesting. Pretty decent. And now so I never understand this either, where people go from professional photos to non-professional photos. That never looks good. This is also looks very odd. I've never seen those chair beds before. Interesting. Maybe that's hurting the revenue. We have a bunch of photos of uh, different. I don't know if you call it country stars. Yeah, country stars, rock star. No, country stars. Well, it makes sense. It's Austin, right? So this one's kind of confusing. I feel like it shouldn't be doing as bad as it is, but at the same time, I guess when you have to stack this up against the ones that are performing well, they do look very different style wise, the marketing wise, things like that. You can design your home better than somebody else, but if you don't take proper photos of it, it's not going to show well. I think this is a pretty decent home, but I just don't think that the listing itself is marketed very well, right? Like they have all the amenities, they have all the different sleeping arrangements. It's not terribly put together. They have a big old dining room, but the kitchen looks really big and boring. Maybe like an island or like something in the middle there would have helped. But it's an interesting sort of setup. I can pretty kind of tell like why it's not doing as well as some of these other ones. It's not very clean cut and showing the photos really well and kind of giving you a good vibe and feel about everything. And it is like a little bit of an older unit, so it kind of is making sense to me. But I also want to check where is it actually listed. Maybe that's making a difference. It's up here. I feel like that shouldn't hurt as much as it is. So maybe it is a weird listing. It's all over the place. But this one isn't as clean. Like when I say as clean, I like it to be very understandable why a home is doing bad in comparison to other ones. This one doesn't show it very well, And so sometimes you just kind of have to deal with it and be like, I don't know exactly why this home's not performing as well. I can take some guesses. Maybe it's because of those sleeping chairs and people don't want to sleep in them. Maybe it's because the kitchen's kind of, it's just kind of a boring listing and the photos are all over the place and it's not marketed very well. Like maybe those are the reasons, maybe they're not, but not every single listing is going to be able to tell you that. And it just kind of is what it is, I guess, at this point. But we know what we have to do to make around that $70,000 to $75,000 range, right? We want to be in this area when we're trying to look for a home, right? We want it to have a decent kitchen. We want to have a decent living room. We need there to be a dining room area. Actually, I'm just realizing, is there a dining room in this listing? Oh, there is. There's a whole dining room. Okay, awesome. We want a backyard area. We want to have enough sleeping. We got to stay up with our competition. So a minimum of 8 guests, I think, is going to be what makes the most sense here. We need to design it well. We need good photos. We need to these are all the things that I'm writing down in my head. I should be writing down on a piece of paper, and so should you as you're going through this to make sense of these things. But those are the trends that we're kind of seeing from all these different listings. And I believe this one has a dining table over there. Look at, they have 4 seats here. They have, looks like 2 or 3 seats over there, and then they have a dining table as well. Plenty of seats for everybody. Pretty decent kitchen, fairly new. Like this is the thing. These are all the qualities that we want to see if we want to be able to perform well. Once again, these guys here, great listing. Great home, well put together. Bad photos, bad marketing. That's why they have to ask for less, right? Maybe this guy's actually just has not making as much because he has such a high nightly revenue. Yeah, right. So this guy is asking for $388 a night, and his occupancy is at 58 in comparison to 87 or 82. So there's another reason. Keep your occupancy, keep your average daily rate lower, and you're going to get higher occupancy, and you're going to make more revenue, right? So now I know that as well. Okay, I have to stay within my range with what these guys are doing to keep my occupancy up. This guy as well, his average daily rate is 403, and he only has an occupancy of 47, and that's going to be this home here. So even this person, who once again has a great product, it's pretty well designed. I mean, the furniture is a little cheap; it could be upgraded, but his average daily rate is so high that he's actually pushing away so many people that he's making less money than he actually should. So these are the attributes that you're looking for to be able to tell you what you need in a home to actually be profitable, okay? To make that highest possible revenue that these other people are making. I'm telling you right now, if I went into this neighborhood and I got a home within this area and I checked off all those different things that I've just been mentioning over and over again, I'm going to feel very confident that I can make about $75,000 a year, right? And I also know that this data is from the last 365 days, which is where COVID times. And so I know that Austin, obviously every major city got hit by COVID, and that's going to lower their revenue from the past 365 days. And so I'm actually going to bump this 75,000 up by about 10 to 15%, and assume that I can make somewhere around $80,000, right? With my knowledge of how to put together a listing, how to design it, how to take photos properly, how to market it, how to optimize it on a regular basis, I'm feeling super confident that I'm going to be able to deliver a product that can make around $80,000 to $85,000 a year. And so now I know all the qualities that I need to be able to make that happen within this neighborhood. And I'm going to go out and look for a listing that's going to have all of those qualities, and within a certain range that will allow me to still be profitable, right? And so you should be doing this. This is exactly what I want you to be doing as well, is going through here and looking at each one of these listings and looking for those things that they're doing that they're doing well, that they're doing right, and the things that the people are performing poorly, what they're doing, and avoid what they're doing. Okay. And just write it down, make a list. Like those first 2 ones, they had backyards that showed well with good seating. That's allowing them to do well. They've got their average daily rate priced at a good amount. They have good occupancy. Like all of these things add up to making more and more and more money. Okay. So I hope this has been helpful. This was very organic for me. This was very just, I'm going through this as if I already be going through it. I did not plan any of this out, is what I'm trying to say. Right. And so these are my thoughts as I'm going through, and I figured this out as I went through with you guys. Honestly, I like this area, and I didn't technically plan to pick out an area that I've already been in Austin, so it kind of just worked out that way. But like I said, I would go into this area and feel confident to make about $80,000 to $85,000. I'd probably keep it at 80,000. I feel very confident that I could do that in this area with all my knowledge, especially with knowing what does well and what doesn't do well. So do this in every single area that you want to learn more about. and you want to maybe open up a home in, and you're going to have this beautiful list of all the things that perform well, and you have a list of all the things to avoid, and you're going to be able to find a very, very profitable location. So I hope this has been very helpful. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you like took a lot of notes I was going through, and yeah, we're going to go from here. Okay, so good luck.